One in college.
Well, it's a preseason game, so they got like 20 guys.
I just want to know what the geometry of it is. Like, is it like a chain?
It's
like a line dance.
Because if they don't, they're all going to just rush the floor and lose their mind. This is going to happen.
Missed layup later in that same game. Woo! Trae Young knocking down the game winner. This is downtown from downtown. Yeah. Young hit this shot from 30 away. Look, he obviously at the end of the second half of his college season didn't go as well as the first half, but he looks like he's adjusting to the NBA, right, Stan?
Yeah, absolutely, and I don't think this is his greatest skill. I think where he's really great is as a passer.
His vision is crazy.
Coach, is that a good shot?
Oh, well, come on.
It's always a good shot if it goes in.
Exactly right. That's the name of the segment.
Absolutely. Make frustration. Late fourth quarter of Warriors-Lakers. Warriors called for the offensive foul. Kevin Durant, look at this. He's seen enough, and he heads to the locker room, even though he fouled out in the third. I mean, look, it's a preseason game. Is anyone really upset he walked out after this foul call?
Hyde is waiting.
I'm surprised he stayed as long as he did after he fouled out.
It's a preseason game.
Look, gotta get ready for Marquee.
Come on.
It's not gonna drink itself.
Look, the league has made it clear they are calling these freedom of movement foul calls more during the preseason. Kevin Arnovich on our show last week called it a down payment, which I think is great phrasing. Right? He's like, the down payment is that we have to sit through more foul calls in the preseason to train everyone that these fouls are going to get called. Is that feasible to you as a coach?
They start this every year, right? And I know that Adam Silver and Monty McCutcheon will be upset that I say that, but we all know, right?
Monty's here
there's a preseason and early season rule book, then there's a regular season rule book, and then there's a playoff rule book. So right now, yeah, there's a lot of foul calls because we're in the preseason and early season rule book.
How many travels are going to get called in the first month, right?
Absolutely. I mean, for the first couple of weeks of the preseason, this will continue. Then we'll transition. And then by the playoffs, they'll be holding and grabbing on every cat.
Last night, well, I'm not going to get fined. Last night, we finally got to see Lonzo and LeBron play together as the Lakers beat the Warriors 123-113. Lonzo making his preseason debut, played 23 minutes. Scored 7 points to go along with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals. And here's an interesting note. The Lakers outscored the Warriors 27-24 when both he and LeBron shared the court. It's a preseason game. As you saw, Kevin Durant didn't play the whole game. There were different factors. But what were your first impressions of the two of them together?
Well, it was fine last night. I think the adjustment will come on Lonzo Ball's part, right? I mean, whether it was Kyrie or Rondo now, Lonzo Ball, these guys are used to having the ball in their hands all the time. Now you're going to have to play off the ball a lot. LeBron has it. You've got to make that adjustment, but good, smart players usually adjust, and I think Lonzo's a smart guy.
Yeah, the whole trick is being a better off-ball player. We saw Dwayne Wade have to go through the same adjustment, and people said, well, Dwayne Wade's not a shooter, but he's an excellent spacer. Why? Because he knew how to move off ball, he knew when to cut, and he's an excellent finisher. When we talk about Lonzo Ball, that's the biggest thing. I think, like Coach said, he's a smart player. He'll figure out moving off ball and being in space and all that. The shooting is what everyone talks about, but Rachel, the big thing is finishing. He was an awful finisher last year, and we got a little roll here of him just missing layups because he shies away from contact a lot of times. He's off balance. If you look at it statistically, and I think we have a full screen here, in terms of finishing in the restricted area, he was 3rd worst in the league. These are the people he shared company with. Frank Mason, Sindarius Stormwell. Like, if you're an elite player in this league, or just merely a good player, you can't be under 50% on the easiest shot in basketball. That's got to change. I got to talk to him, and he said exactly that. He said, watching film with Magic, with Coach Walton, that he was shying away from contact. And so part of him in his offseason was getting stronger and being a better finisher at the rim, and I think we saw a little bit of that last night.
Well, and he's visibly stronger. All you got to do is look at him. He's visibly stronger. Seems like a guy to me that wants to be a player. He's going to do the work that he has to do. The shooting's still going to be a problem, but hopefully it'll get better. And like you say, it's more about being able to move without the ball and understand how to play without the ball, which he's never had to do.
I'm interested, too, to see if or how LeBron adjusts his game, because because obviously the rule is, oh, everyone else adjusts to LeBron, and that's true of any star player who comes to a team. But he has said himself he wants to play faster this year, that he maybe doesn't want the ball in his hands quite as much. We'll have to see if any of that actually happens.
And LeBron's great off the ball.
Yeah.
As are most of the good players in the league. Durant, Wade, as he said. Those guys are great without the ball, so he'll be able to let those guys handle. But let's face it, fourth quarter, you're Luke Walton. Who's going to have the ball?
And who should have the ball?
Is right.
LeBron James.
And everybody else got to be able to play off the ball.
Absolutely. Here is what The Jump is recommending for today. SportsCenter, hang time with Draymond Green and Sam Alapur. They hung out in Japan. Draymond dished as they dined about all things Warriors, and here's a portion of it.
In what way are you closed off back at home?
A bunch of ways. Like, just always think I'm right. Always think I know my way is the best way. I hate being wrong. It could be something simple as like, Steve was on a play. And I'm like, no, let's run this play. Sometimes it works, but when it don't work, you live it.
Steve's livid?
Yes. And then just to be the next play, he called the play he called.
And does it work?
I be hoping it don't.
With Boogie on board, how good can this team be?
He adds an element to us that we've never had. And that's a guy who you literally throw the ball to in the post every play, and he can go get a bucket every play.
There was a recruiting call where he said, you joked, that you guys are going to fight this year.
I did joke and tell him that. And the fact of the matter is, it's probably true. We're actually really good friends.
This is actually under your budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you move in, Geico could help you save on renter's insurance.
Yep, Geico helped me with renter's insurance too.
The walls seem a bit thin.